Welcome back. This is an Aleks homework video on naming inorganic acids. An acid is a donor of a proton, and when you see them, you're always going to start with the acidic acid, acidic hydrogen, the hydrogen that will be the proton that's given away. So in the case that we have here, we have hydrogen and iodine. That hydrogen is going to be donated in order for that acid to act like an acid. It's going to donate them. In the case of H2SO3, there are two of these acidic hydrogens, so essentially it's going to have two hydrogens to give. It's going to give one away and then give a second one away. In the case of the HClO4, it has one, and the HClO, it has one. There are examples where you're going to have acids where you're going to have hydrogens at the end of inside the end, like acetic acid is H and then C2H3O2, so there's H's on both sides, but the H that's given away in the acid is always at the beginning. Because of that, there's weird naming things. You have to name them weird, and there's three basic rules for naming. So rule number one is if you have just a binary acid, so you have hydrogen plus one element. Okay, so I see that here, HI. I've got one element plus hydrogen. All right, so in this case, you're going to need a prefix hydro. Okay, so you would say hydro, and then look at the anion, and it tells you what it's going to be. So this is iodine. Okay, so this is IO. Okay, and then it gives you a suffix, ic. So it's going to be hydro plus iodine, and then the ine comes and changes to ic. So this particular is going to be hydroiodic acid. Okay. Now, back in history. This is not hydrio, it's hydroiodic. So you end up with three vowels in a row. You have the ROIO, and a lot of times people don't like three vowels in a row, and so the other option would be hydroiodic, where they've just dropped the O acid. I think this program will accept either, I'm not sure. Okay. All right, so here, that's the first one where there's one element. That's the only one I see here in the examples. So one element, you're going to have hydro, ic. Hydro something, ic. So HCl, hydrochloric acid. HBr, hydrobromic acid. All right. So the next one you're going to see is when you have an oxyanion, which in this case was 8SO3. No, SO4 is 8. SO3 is ite. So 8 and ite. So these, remember, are oxoanions. So if you make an acid with a hydrogen and an oxoanion, you're going to name the 8s ic. And so you're just going to say, and the ites, you're going to name it us. Okay. And then there's no hydro. So in the case of SO3, this is sulfite. Hydrogen sulfite as an acid would be ite goes to us. Okay, ite goes to us, and so it's going to be sulfur and then us. Sulfur, us. Sulfurous acid. Sulfurous acid. Okay, an 8 would go to ic. Okay. I don't have any examples of 8 here because ClO4 is perchlorate. So you're going to, it's perchlorate, 8, and 8 goes to ic. So this is going to be perchloric acid. Okay. And then this one, ClO, remember O1 is going to be hypochlorite. So the ite goes to us. So this would be hypochlorous acid. Okay. Remember, these are all going to be just random. As you do this over and over, it's going to be random, and so you're going to have a lot of these. So you're going to have 1 is going to be hydro plus that. Then oxyatoms, you're going to have 8 plus ite. 8 goes to ik. Ite goes to us. And then you would have possibly the weird ones, like if you have weird names. So if you have, say, cyanide and you have HCN, well, ide is going to name just like one element. So just like iodide goes to hydroiodic, HCN, cyanide, would be hydrocyanic acid. Okay, so this one's going to name just like this because it ends in ide. Okay, so your ides end name just like your hydrogen plus one element. Anything else that ends in ate is going to, or ate or ik, or ate or ite is going to name like your oxyions. So if you have something like SCN, which you don't know yet, but it's called thiocyanate. That's weird. It's just a weird name. Thiocyanate, if you're going to make an acid out of it, okay, that would be thiocyanic acid, because 8 goes to ik. All right? So, you'll be so smart when you're finished.